Hey everyone, I'm Your Name, and today we're diving deep into the heart of Indian democracy, its constitution. And no, don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with legal jargon. Instead, we'll uncover the fascinating story of how this monumental document, the longest written constitution in the world, came to be. It involved years of meticulous work by brilliant minds. The Constituent Assembly, established in December 1946, had 22 committees to manage various aspects of drafting the Constitution. Among them, 8 were major committees instrumental in defining the structure, rights and governance of independent India. So buckle up as we journey back in time to meet the key players and understand their contributions.
First up, we have the Union Powers Committee, and leading the charge was none other than Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister. The Union Powers Committee had the crucial task of figuring out how much power should reside with the central government and how much with the states. It was a delicate balancing act. Too much centralization could lead to a repeat of the oppressive British rule, while excessive autonomy for states could fragment the nation. Nehru, known for his strong leadership and vision for a united India, steered the committee through these complexities. They debated, deliberated, and ultimately laid the groundwork for a federal system where the Union and states shared power. This wasn't just about drawing lines on a map. It was about defining the very nature of Indian democracy. The committee members came from diverse backgrounds, representing different regions and ideologies. They knew that the decisions they made would shape the destiny of millions, and so they put aside their differences, finding common ground in their shared dream of a strong and united India. With the Union Powers Committee laying the groundwork for the distribution of authority, the focus shifted to the structure of the central government itself. And guess who was back in the driver's seat? Yep, Jawaharlal Nehru, heading the Union Constitution Committee. This committee was all about the nuts and bolts. How would the central government be organized? What would be the powers and functions of the parliament, the president, the judiciary? They had to ensure that the central government was strong enough to govern effectively, but not so powerful that it could become authoritarian. They debated the merits of a parliamentary system versus a presidential one, ultimately opting for the former, drawing inspiration from the British model. They outlined the roles of the different branches of government, ensuring a system of checks and balances to prevent any one branch from becoming too dominant. Nehru's leadership was instrumental in guiding the committee towards a consensus. Their efforts ensured a system of governance that was both representative and accountable, laying the foundation for a nation governed by the rule of law.
Now we come to what could be considered the most critical phase, drafting the actual text of the Constitution. And for this monumental task, the mantle fell upon the drafting committee, led by the brilliant jurist and social reformer, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. If the previous committees were architects, Dr. Ambedkar and his team were the master craftsmen, meticulously chiseling away at the stone, bringing the grand vision to life. They took the principles and ideas debated and refined by the other committees and translated them into precise legal language. Imagine the pressure. Drafting a constitution is not like writing a blog post or even a book. It's about crafting the very soul of a nation, a document that would define the rights and freedoms of its people for generations to come. Dr. Ambedkar, often hailed as the architect of the Indian Constitution, approached this task with unwavering dedication. He pored over countless documents, studying constitutions from around the world, drawing inspiration from the best while adapting them to the unique context of India. He believed in a constitution that was not just a legal document, but a tool for social transformation. Under his guidance, the drafting committee meticulously crafted each article, ensuring clarity, precision, and a commitment to justice and equality. Their work was nothing short of extraordinary. They gave India a constitution that was not only comprehensive, but also aspirational, a beacon of hope for a nation emerging from the shadows of colonialism. Their efforts were a testament to the vision of an India where everyone, regardless of their background, could live with dignity and respect.
Chapter 4. Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities, and Tribal and Excluded Areas, Safeguarding the Vulnerable. Now, let's talk about a committee that dealt with some of the most sensitive and crucial aspects of nation building. The Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities, and Tribal and Excluded Areas, led by the Iron Man of India, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. This committee had the challenging task of ensuring that the new India was inclusive and just, protecting the rights of all its citizens, especially those who had historically faced discrimination and marginalization. They were dealing with issues that were not just legal, but deeply emotional and societal. Sardar Patel, known for his pragmatism and decisiveness, played a pivotal role in steering the committee through these sensitive issues. They grappled with questions like, what fundamental rights should be guaranteed to all citizens? How do we protect the cultural and religious identities of minorities? How do we ensure that tribal communities are not left behind in the march towards progress? The committee's work resulted in some of the most progressive and inclusive provisions in the Indian Constitution. They enshrined fundamental rights like the right to equality, freedom of religion, and protection against discrimination. Their efforts laid the foundation for a just and equitable society. Chapter 5. Rules of Procedure Committee. Setting the stage for democracy. You know how in a game you need rules to ensure fair play? Well, the same goes for a democracy. That's where the Rules of Procedure Committee, led by Dr. Rajendra Prasad, who would later become India's first president, came into the picture. Their task might seem a bit dry compared to drafting fundamental rights, but trust me, it was crucial. They were responsible for setting the ground rules for how the Constituent Assembly itself would function. Imagine a room full of passionate individuals, all eager to shape the future of their nation. Now, imagine that without any rules, without a structured way to debate and make decisions. Chaos, right? That's precisely what the Rules of Procedure Committee prevented. They established the procedures for conducting debates, introducing amendments, voting on resolutions, and all the other nitty-gritty details that ensured the smooth functioning of the assembly. They were like the referees of a game, making sure everyone played by the rules, that every voice was heard, and that decisions were made democratically. Their work was vital in ensuring that the drafting of the Indian Constitution was a fair and transparent process.
Chapter 6. Provincial Constitution Committee, laying the foundation for federalism. While some committees focused on the Union, the Provincial Constitution Committee, again led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, zoomed in on the states, or provinces as they were then called. Their task? To design the blueprint for governance at the state level. They had to ensure that states had sufficient autonomy to govern their affairs while remaining integral parts of the Indian Union. It was like creating a mini-constitution for each state, outlining the structure of their legislatures, the powers of their governors, and the overall framework for their governance. Patel, with his deep understanding of India's complex social and political landscape, guided the committee in crafting a system that balanced regional aspirations with national unity. They laid the foundation for a federal system where states had a significant degree of self-governance while remaining bound by the Constitution. Their work was instrumental in shaping the federal structure of India. Chapter 7. States Committee Integrating Princely States. Now here's a fascinating chapter, the integration of princely states. See, at the time of India's independence, there were hundreds of these princely states, each ruled by a Maharaja or a Nawab, enjoying varying degrees of autonomy. The States Committee, with Jawaharlal Nehru at the helm, had the delicate task of convincing these rulers to join the Indian Union. It was a monumental task, fraught with historical baggage and political complexities. The committee worked tirelessly, engaging with the rulers, addressing their concerns, and ultimately persuading most of them to accede to the Indian Union. It was a testament to the power of dialogue and the shared dream of a strong and united nation. Their efforts were crucial in shaping the map of modern India.
Chapter 8. Steering Committee. Guiding the ship. Finally, we come to the unsung heroes, the coordinators, the ones who kept the entire process on track. The Steering Committee, led by none other than Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Think of them as the conductors of an orchestra, ensuring that all the different instruments played in harmony, that the tempo was maintained, and that the final symphony was a masterpiece. They coordinated the activities of all the other committees, ensuring that their work progressed in sync, that deadlines were met, and that the drafting of the Constitution stayed on course. It was a role that required patience, diplomacy, and a deep understanding of the complexities involved. They were the oil that kept the machinery running smoothly, the glue that held everything together. Their contribution, though often behind the scenes, was no less crucial than that of the other committees.
And so, after nearly 3 years of tireless work, countless debates and unwavering dedication, the Constituent Assembly adopted the Constitution on November 26, 1949. It was a moment of immense pride and hope for a nation taking its first steps towards self-governance. The collective efforts of these committees, led by visionary leaders, gave India a robust framework for governance, a testament to the power of collaboration, compromise, and a shared vision for a better future. That's the story of the committees that shaped the Indian Constitution, a story of brilliant minds, passionate debates, and an unwavering commitment to building a nation where every citizen could live with dignity and freedom. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content.